Good morning, students. In the previous class, we learned the meaning of demand, individual demand and market demand. We also have understood determinants of demand, including determinants of individual demand and market demand. We understood the law of demand, which was explained in 4 different forms, in the form of a statement, a schedule, as well as a curve and an equation. In the form of a statement, we understood that the law of demand states the inverse relationship between price of a good and demand for a good when other things remains constant, ceteris paribus. I explained in detail what the law of demand states, and we also have understood how the law of demand can be explained in the form of a table, for which we call it as demand schedule. And we learned the diagrammatic representation of law of demand, that itself is the individual demand curve. And finally, we got to know how the law of demand can be explained in the form of an equation, D or QD is equal to A minus BP. Today, we are taking up another interesting concept, and that is mainly related to other 2 determinants of demand. Those are price of related goods as well as income of the consumer. When I started explaining the determinants of individual demand, I told you there are 5 important determinants of individual demand, including price of the commodity, price of related goods, income of the consumer, taste and preferences, expectation of change in price in future. In the law of demand, we understood the relationship between price and the quantity demanded. When it comes to the second important determinant, price of the related goods, in order to know how the demand changes to a change in the prices of related goods, we come across 2 kinds of goods. Those are complementary goods and substitute goods. We have to understand these 2 related goods in detail separately, because it is important from your examination point of view, and also to gain knowledge on the 2 important determinants, you need to know the differences between complementary and substitute goods. So today we shall take up the complementary goods in the beginning. So what are complementary goods? This question you can expect it for 2 marks. With example you may have to write when it is asked as 2 marks question. What are complementary goods? To give the meaning, first I will make you understand. So some goods are to be used together. Let me give a good example of tea and sugar. You cannot have tea powder and milk separately and sugar separately. In order to enjoy a cup of tea, you need to complement, you need to use these 2 goods together. Like I can also give one more example of car and petrol. In order to enjoy the ride of a car, you need to put petrol first. Therefore, car and petrol cannot be used separately. They are to be used together so that you can enjoy the drive, or you can enjoy a long drive with your family or yourself. Therefore, what I am saying here is that goods that are used together, to satisfy a particular want are called complementary goods. Since one good is complementing with the other good, these goods are called complementary goods. I already had given 2 examples. You can add on further more examples like this. Examples you can give for complementary goods are car and petrol, tea and sugar, shoes and socks, pen and ink. So these are the examples you can give. Then one more thing that you need to be very careful here when it comes to complementary goods are, you have to mention the relationship between demand and price. How the demand changes to the change in the price of its complementary good. To understand in what direction demand is changing with the change in the price of its related good, we need to take the one example. We shall take 2 complementary goods, that is car and petrol, which we already had taken in our example. So let us consider car and petrol here. When there is an increase in the price of petrol, what is happening with the demand of its complementary good we need to know. When there is an increase in the price of petrol, the demand for its complementary good, that is car, is being reduced, it is decreased. That is why here the change in demand as well as change in the price of its complementary good is moving in an opposite direction. They are not moving in the same direction, rather they are moving in an opposite direction. When there is a rise in the price of petrol, the demand for its complementary goods is coming down, it is reducing. Therefore, you must say that the demand of a good moves in the opposite direction to the change in the price of its complementary good. Such a relationship exists between the demand for a good as well as the change in the price of its complementary good. So these are the things that you need to understand, because in future you have to also mention the difference between complementary and substitute goods. When you learn in detail with regarding to every points on complementary good, you would be able to write the difference between complementary goods and substitute goods. Now let us concentrate on another important related goods, and that is substitute goods. What are substitute goods? Goods that are used as an alternative to satisfy a particular want itself is called substitute goods. In contrast to complementary goods, there are certain goods like tea and coffee which are not consumed together. Have you ever tried doing such thing like having coffee and tea together? It's not possible. These are the goods which are used as a substitute to another good. That is, in fact, these are the goods which are substitute to each other. Therefore, coffee and tea are a very good example that you can give for substitute goods. Other than coffee and tea, you can give some more examples which I have quoted here. Solar energy and electricity, ink pen and ball pen are the examples you can add on. Therefore, what is a substitute good? Good which is used as a substitute to other good. Good which is used as an alternative to other good to satisfy a particular want is called substitute good. We also have to look into how there is a relationship, in what way there is a change in demand and price of its substitute goods, in what direction they will move, you need to understand. To understand this particular relationship and the direction of movement in the change in demand as well to a change in its substitute good, let us take one good example, that is tea and coffee. We are taking the example of tea and coffee in order to understand the direction in which the demand moves to a change in the price of its substitute good. Let us consider that you have the habit of drinking either coffee or tea, or both you have the habit. All of a sudden, when there is a change in the price of coffee, you feel that when there is increase in the price of coffee, you would prefer to drink tea where the price is very less when compared to coffee. It is all because the demand towards tea changed here. Because since there is a change in the price of coffee, the demand for tea increased. Whenever there is an increase in the price of coffee, people prefer to have tea because it is sold at the same price. Let me give one numerical example. The price of coffee may be 10 rupee and the price of tea was also 10 rupee. Now the price of coffee has been increased to 15 rupee and the price of tea remains rupees 10 itself. By then, people prefer to have more of tea rather than coffee because the price is less. The price of tea is less when compared to the price of coffee. Therefore, whenever there is an increase in the price of coffee, the demand for tea increases. Here, the demand for a good moves in the same direction. Here, both of them, the demand for a good moves in the same direction. direction to the change in the price of its substitute good. Whenever there is a change in the price of coffee in our example, the demand for tea has been increased, and this type of relationship, there is direct positive relationship between the change in the price of substitute goods and the change in demand. Now let us analyze the difference between complementary goods and substitute goods. The first difference that you can notice is the meaning itself. We understood what are complementary goods and what are substitute goods. That you can quote it for the first difference. Goods which are consumed together to satisfy a want are called complementary goods. I had given few examples which you can remember. Car and petrol, ink and pen, shoes and socks, tea and sugar are the examples you can quote if you want. Then you also have to give the meaning of substitute goods. Goods which are used as an alternative to satisfy a particular want are called substitute goods. The examples we had taken was tea and coffee, solar energy and electricity, ink pen and ball pen are the examples you can quote for substitute goods. Coming to the second difference, you can mention the relationship. As I explained, in what direction the demand moves to a change in price, that is to be explained. The relationship between the price of a good and demand for its complementary good is inverse. I told you, whenever there is an increase in the price of a good, the demand for its complementary good will come down, or the opposite can also be told. Whenever there is a change in the price of a good, the demand for its complementary good decreases. Such kind of inverse relationship exists between the price of a good and demand for its complementary goods. Coming to the other part, that is substitute good, the relationship between the price of a good and demand for its substitute good is direct. There is direct relationship between the demand for a good and the price of its substitute good. I had given the example of tea and coffee. Whenever there is an increase in the price of coffee, the demand for its substitute good, that is tea, will increase. Since the increase in price as well as increase in demand moves in the same direction, that can be called as direct positive relationship exists between the price of a good and demand for its substitute good. And the third difference that you can mention is complementary goods have joint demand. Because these two goods are used together, it has got a joint demand. Whenever there is a demand for one good, the demand for its complementary goods also increases. That is called as joint demand. When it comes to substitute goods have competitive demand, or the competitive demand, because whenever the price of coffee increases, the demand for tea increases. That means the two substitute goods always give competition to another good. Suppose if there is a change in price of one commodity, the demand for other commodity increases. Or suppose if the price of a good decreases, the demand for its substitute good increases. For such thing we call it as competitive demand. One good is giving competition to the other good, for which we call it as competitive demand. When it comes to the fourth difference, without complementary good, usage of main good is impossible. That means, if we take the example of car and petrol, the car is useless if there is non-availability of petrol. If the petrol is not available, the usage of main good, that is car, becomes useless or waste. Therefore, without petrol you cannot drive. Therefore, the use of the main good car becomes waste or useless. When it comes to substitute good, one substitute good is useful in the scarcity of other substitute good. Whenever there is a scarcity, you can use the other good, substitute good, as an useful good. Suppose if there is scarcity of electricity, we can go for solar energy. Likewise, these two goods will act in such a way that when there is a scarcity of one good, the demand for the other good, especially the usage of other goods, becomes more meaningful. Whenever there is a scarcity of electricity, the usage of solar energy becomes more meaningful and useful, for which we call it as how when there is a scarcity of one substitute good, the availability of other substitute goods becomes more useful. So this is what the difference you can quote between complementary goods and substitute goods, which is the most important question from 4 marks point of view. Student, they will ask you to explain the difference between complementary goods and substitute goods. Now let us understand the relation between the demand for a good as well as income of the consumer, which is the third important determinant of individual demand. Students, you know very well the demand is influenced even by the consumer's income. Whenever the income of the consumer changes, it may increase or decrease. Change refers not only increase, change refers also to decrease. Therefore, whenever the word change is been observed, you must take it as increase or decrease. The quantity of a commodity that a consumer demands can increase or decrease with the change in the income of the consumer depending upon the nature of the commodity. On the basis of the nature of the commodity, we can categorize the goods as normal goods and inferior goods. Again, these two categories of goods is to be understood separately, and again we have to bring out the difference between normal goods and inferior goods. Let us individually understand what are normal goods. Normal goods are those goods for which the quantity of the commodity that a consumer demands increases as his income increases. Let us give an example of your own. In your family, your father may be the head of the family. Whenever he sees an increase in his income, he tries to bring more and more of such goods. Such goods are called as normal goods. Whenever a consumer's income increases, the demand for normal goods also increases. On the other hand, if your father's income decreased because of this corona, many people are losing their job, and even there is a reduction in their salary to 50%. When such thing happen, the income obviously will come down. Whenever there is a decrease in income, the demand for such goods decreases. Suppose if your father has enough money in his pocket because of increase in income, he may bring more of such goods. I can give few examples like fruits, vegetables, milk, clothes, etc. You may be gifted with new dresses, which is again a normal good. Therefore, what I am saying is, whenever the consumer's income increases, the demand for such goods increases, and whenever the consumer's income decreases, the demand for some goods decreases. Such goods are called as normal goods. We call such goods as normal goods. You must be careful, student. Here we are studying the relationship between demand and income of the consumer. Some examples have been quoted and I have written it on the board. The examples you can give for normal goods are fruits, vegetables, clothes, milk, etc. There is a direct relationship between the demand for a good as well as the income of the consumer. What are inferior goods? The quantity of a commodity that a consumer demands decreases as the consumer's income increase. It is the opposite of what we understood about normal goods. Even though the consumer's income increases, he would not prefer to buy more of such commodity. The demand for inferior goods decreases with an increase in income. I would like to tell you, students, by giving some examples. Between two goods like rice and ragi, rice is considered as a superior good and ragi is considered as an inferior good. Therefore, whenever consumer's income increases, he would prefer to buy more of rice rather than inferior good. Inferior good may be cheaper when compared to the superior goods like what I gave an example of ragi and rice. Though the income of the consumer increases, the demand for inferior goods decreases. Such goods are called as inferior goods. Why? Because people would not prefer to buy more of such commodity even though their income level increases. Therefore, you can say that inferior goods are those goods as the income of the consumer increases, the demand for some goods decreases. For such goods we call it as inferior goods. And these are low quality food items, anything you can take like coarse cereals and other things. Comparatively, you can also take one more example like potato and meat. When compared to this commodity, potato is always considered as inferior to meat. Therefore, these are the examples you can write. Then let us know in what way the demand as well as income moves. As the consumer's income increases, the demand for inferior goods decreases. As the consumer's income decreases, the demand for inferior goods increases. Whenever their income decreases, they may prefer to buy such commodity because at the low income level, people prefer to manage their expenditure by going with an inferior goods and its purchase in a higher quantity. And this happens only when the income of the consumer is low. They prefer to buy more of such commodity. Suppose if their income increases, they would prefer less of that commodity. That is why whenever the income is more, the demand for inferior good is always less. When the income is less, the demand for inferior good will be more. So these are the things you need to understand. Whenever the income of the consumer increases, the demand for normal goods increases. And on the other hand, if there is a decrease in the income of the consumer, the demand for normal goods also decreases. Therefore, the demand for a good as well as the income of the consumer moves in the same direction. Now let us know the difference between normal goods and inferior goods. The first difference is the demand for normal goods. Usually, I told you in the beginning when I explained the normal goods, there is direct relationship between the demand for a good and income of the consumer, which you need to quote. Then, when it comes to inferior goods, the demand for inferior goods which has inverse relationship with the consumer's income. So there is inverse relationship between the demand for a good and income of the consumer in case of inferior goods, whereas when it comes to normal goods, there is direct relationship between the demand for a good as well as the consumer's income. The second point is the quantity of demand for normal goods increases with an increase in income and vice versa. This is the same that we understood. Whenever the consumer's income increases, they try to purchase more and more of such goods, for which we call it as normal goods. The demand of normal goods usually increases when there is an increase in the consumer's income. That is what here quoted. The quantity of demand for normal goods increases with an increase in income, and the quantity of demand for normal goods decreases with a decrease in income. Then the second point that you need to mention when it comes to inferior good is that the quantity of demand for inferior goods decreases with an increase in income. Though the consumer's income increases, he will never prefer to buy more of inferior goods. Whenever his income is low, he tries to bring more of such good. This is what explained in the second point. When it comes to the third difference that you need to mention between normal and inferior goods, you need to say that in case of normal goods, income effect is positive. Income effect is positive because when his income increases, he will bring more and more of such goods. The demand increases. That is why the income effect is positive in case of normal goods, whereas in case of inferior goods, the income effect is negative, because though the consumer's income increases, he may not prefer to buy more of inferior goods, he buy less of it. That is why income effect is negative for inferior goods, it is positive for normal goods. And the last point that you need to quote is income demand curve curve of normal goods is positively sloped and income demand for inferior goods is negatively sloped. Why it is positively sloped? Because there is direct positive relationship between the demand for a good and the income of the consumer. There is inverse or negative relationship between the demand as well as consumer's income when it comes to inferior goods. So these are the 4 differences that you need to code since it is asked as 4 marks question in your examination. Today we have learned in detail about 2 different commodities, 2 different sets of commodities. One is related to the second determinant, that is price of related goods. When it comes to price of related goods, you need to speak about complementary goods and substitute goods. And the third important determinant, income of the consumer. When it comes to income of the consumer, you need to speak about normal goods and inferior goods. The 2 important questions that you can expect from today's class are: explain the difference between normal goods and inferior goods, write the difference between complementary goods and substitute goods. Thank you.